Today on an all-new Dr. Phill.
My dad sending money to a woman in Mexico that he had an affair with.
He steals from family, friends, and strangers.
Nearly $2 million.
She had to have a lung transplant.
You paid for the lung. So she just showed up to a clinic with a lung in an igloo cooler and said, I'm here to get a transplant. She's had brain cancer 5 times.
7 times.
You think maybe she's lied to you? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you.
Well, death threats from Mexican businessmen, black market organs for sale, tens of thousands of dollars in extortion money paid, and more than 100 trips back and forth to Mexico. It's an unbelievable story that has this sweet-looking grandpa trapped in what his daughters believe is an outrageous international scam. So who's the alleged mastermind behind this multi-million-dollar mystery? Well, according to Maurice's daughters, it's his former Mexican mistress. Take a look.
My dad sending money to a woman in Mexico that he had an affair with. He has sent her over $1.5 million.
My dad is obsessed with Josefina.
An extreme obsession.
He met her at a hotel that he was staying at.
She was the maid there. It just blows my mind.
I have never met her. I have never spoken with her.
My dad said that because he only had sex with her twice, it is not an affair.
We believe Josefina is conning our dad, absolutely.
Josefina has told my father many times that she's dying.
I believe Josefina is truly sick. She may not live. It's a matter of life and death.
So she started by asking my dad for money for a lung transplant. Then the lung apparently didn't take. Then she stored that lung to then resell it to someone else. That's totally black market. So clearly she's a criminal.
The long story is preposterous. We have told my father how it's not even medically possible.
Then she traded that lung to get ownership of a ranch.
She's told my dad that she's eventually going to sell and then pay him back.
She promised a huge payout.
There's no doubt in my mind that she's telling me the truth.
This whole situation is just shocking and bizarre. My dad believes that he is saving Josefina's life.
My dad hasn't seen her for at least 13 years.
My dad hasn't even spoken to a doctor or seen her medical bills.
She hooked him somehow.
I think she is holding something over him.
I look at her as the scum of the earth.
This awful woman that just is mocking my father.
I want Josefina out of his life.
She's ruined his life. She's ruined our lives.
This woman has torn our family apart.
Well, but now Maurice's daughters insist their father has gone from being conned to being a con man himself. They say he's lying, stealing, and taking money from innocent people to give to this former lover.
My father has preyed on a lot of innocent people.
His whole life is consumed by getting this woman money.
My dad would tell them that he needed the money to help this dying woman in Mexico.
He just finds those perfect victims.
My father is a manipulator.
He's a thief. My dad is financially ruined so many people's lives.
Destroyed some marriages, torn families apart.
I talked to a man my dad owed $20,000 to. He had taken out a personal loan. And his wife has Alzheimer's. He said that he doesn't have money to pay for her medical care.
There was one family from church that gave my dad their entire life savings.
Someone from my sister's church confronted her and said, if I met your dad in a back alley, I can't promise what would happen to him. And at least 10 people had confessed to him that they had given him money as well.
He's violated such an intimate trust there.
I feel terrible when I hear the stories. I wish I had the money to pay these people back.
I don't want him to hurt one more person.
Well, this is just a hell of a mess, right? Yeah, well, it gets worse. Because this dad has 7 children, and they claim that he has also victimized them.
My dad doesn't just prey on innocent people. He has preyed upon his own family.
He took money from me and each of my sisters.
One of my sisters gave my dad $40,000. He called her and said that literally if that money was not wired to him immediately, that he would be killed.
He has gone to a few of my sisters telling them I'll be arrested or some men in Mexico are going to come after me.
I had a business with my sister and my dad. My dad was able to steal $200,000.
Because my name was on the business and my sister's name was on the business, we went down with him.
He's destroyed their credit. They lost their homes. They lost their cars.
I went into a deep, dark depression. It's a place you kind of never want to go.
At the time, it was heartbreaking. It was the greatest betrayal.
Now my mom is packing up her home because my parents' house is in foreclosure. Just need a minute. My dad has broken our family.
My dad has no shame.
He literally does not care about any of us.
Okay. You were in business together.
Yeah, I probably suffered the most financially, yeah.
Just bottom line, how much do you think he stole from you, just straight up?
That I know of is about $200,000. You know, we lost a house, lost a car.
Take me through the moment that you realized my father has stolen my money and given it to some woman in Mexico to the point that I am losing my home. That's the moment I want to go through.
Yeah, I mean,
what happened?
like rage and anger and how could you possibly do this and think it was okay? But the thing is, you can't, there was no reasoning.
And you've not spoken to him in 2 years.
Right. People were coming to us saying he owed them money. We didn't know what it was about. And we knew there was just more to this story. And so we kind of stormed into his house and told him it's time to come clean. He came clean about some of it, as much as he was willing to, and told us about, you know, this woman, this money that he'd given to her. That was the point when I said, you know what, this is it. That was 2 years ago, and that was the last time I spoke to my father.
Karina, you had his phone for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
What happened when you had his phone?
All day long, there's phone calls, text messages, asking where's my money.
Which one of you got the death threat against your father for $40,000?
She's not here.
She's not here. And he actually called her and told her that she didn't personally get the death threat, but he called her and told her.
Then he'll have this fear in his eyes.
Yeah,
like,
and you just...
if I don't get this money, something bad is going to happen to me, you know,
Yeah.
and you don't want to fall for it, but you don't want your dad to be killed.
Right.
I mean, he pulls out all the stops.
By the way, he's married to your mother.
Right.
And she's now losing her house.
Right.
Because he's giving money to this woman.
Right.
Next 19 years of secrets, 2 Mexican mistresses, and nearly $2 million just handed away. Why did Maurice's wife continue to turn a blind eye to her husband's secret life south of the border? Well, I'm going to ask her. She's here. We're going to add her to the conversation after the break.
He has become a pathological liar. He is dishonest to the very core. The day that I found out that my husband Maurice had an affair with this woman, my whole world was turned upside down. She has conned him. How anybody can be at death's door for 13 years. She is such a medical miracle.
And later, you believe this woman just showed up at a clinic with a lung in an igloo cooler or something and said, I need a lung transplant, and I got the lung.
That's basically what happened.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phill. Torn between her city husband and her country boyfriend.
You had an affair and convinced him you were the victim.
I didn't do it on purpose.
The 2 men meet for the first time.
Julie, sit wherever you feel like you should.
Will she choose her boyfriend
You were taking your child to go see your lover.
or her husband?
What gives you the right to be with this man's wife?
Then on Thursday, exclusive, the secret audio tapes of former Subway spokesman Jared Fogle.
I had this little boy. It was amazing. It just felt so good. I mean, it felt so good.
Only on Dr. Phill, Thursday.
I think my mom looked the other way for many years as far as my dad's behavior.
My mother is enabling him by turning a blind eye.
My mom tends to bury her head in the sand and pretend that nothing bad is happening.
We had an intervention a couple years ago and told my mom, if you don't leave him, then we will walk away from you for a while.
I honestly don't know why she has stayed.
Well, secret phone calls in Spanish and hundreds of trips over the border. Maurice's double life has his 7 daughters convinced that a bizarre scam concocted by his former mistress has turned their father into a con man and their mother into his protector and enabler. Now, before we speak with the matriarch of this beautiful family, let's hear what she has to say about her partner of nearly 50 years.
My husband, Maurice, has torn apart my family. My children have just been absolutely devastated. He has used them over and over. My daughters all feel like they've lost their father. Their hearts have been broken. He has become a pathological liar. He is dishonest to the very core of his being. That's really hard and sad for me to say that. My utilities have been turned off. My internet gets turned off. Frequently, my phone gets turned off. The day that I found out that he had an affair with this woman, my whole world was turned upside down and inside out. I felt worthless. I felt like a failure. This is someone I trusted with my entire life. I have absolutely no doubt she has conned him. If I saw her, I probably would scratch her eyes out. How anybody can be at death's door for 13 years. She is such a medical miracle. If she's really ill, let her die.
I'm glad to meet you, and I'm really sorry for the circumstance. I'm just so sorry. I hate it for you. This has been going on for 19 years, right? You now know.
Apparently,
Well,
yeah.
you did know that then, of course, but you know it now.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this?
Devastated, angry at myself, angry at my husband, at this woman.
Along the way, he also had another woman, right?
Yes.
And that's when you found out that he has a daughter.
Yes.
Y'all have a half-sister.
Yeah.
Yes.
In Mexico. Did you know about that at all? Were you?
Not until 2 years ago.
You had to be shocked.
Oh, yes, I was.
What did you say to him when you found out he was shipping money off to this woman? Let's go back to the other woman, the one that's got the revolving lungs. And what did he tell you about it?
She had to have a lung transplant.
Okay, so she got a lung.
Yes.
And where'd she get the lung?
And he paid for it. I'm assuming...
He bought her a lung.
On the black market, I'm assuming.
It didn't take.
So they took it out and they put in another lung.
Okay.
But they kept the first one.
Where did they keep it?
In some kind of machine. In Mexico, they have the ability to keep organs alive.
That's what we're told.
And so then that lung was put into another woman, and her husband paid for it with a ranch.
So it's like a swap meet.
Yes.
So we'll give you a ranch for this lung.
Yeah.
But it worked for the second woman.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, but now, so she has the ranch, so they need to sell the ranch to pay for the lung.
Right.
You know what's wrong with you people? Seriously, you know what's wrong with you people?
What?
Absolutely nothing. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you people. That's the problem. Right. You, all 5 of you, are normal, healthy, loving, caring, adjusted people. Your mind can't go to the places that sick, demented people's mind go, so it's hard to see that coming. Because your mother, you've been put out of your house because of this. You're now going to be put out of your house, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And what are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to have to go find a job in a small apartment and go on with life.
And kind of start over making your own
Yes.
way. Let's take a break. Next, trading a lung for a ranch, selling organs on the black market, and being held hostage in a south of the border hospital. Maurice insists that his former mistress, Josefina, is on death's door. Apparently for a long time she's been on death's door. He says he needed all of the money he took from friends, family, and even a stranger at a gas station in order to save her life. Boy, do I have some questions for dear old Dad. Well, he's here, and we're going to meet him next. We'll add him to the conversation right after the break. So she just showed up lung in hand to a clinic, said, I'm here to get a transplant, and I've got my lung with me. And later...
She doesn't have money, so she's not actually in a hospital room.
Well, she doesn't need it. She can
I
get
know,
health
I'm
care.
just saying,
They
she's
have
on like the
universal
back
health care.
patio.
Is that outdoors?
Yeah, that's outdoors.
She's just sleeping next to the hospital.
I am very in love with Kit Moore.
She's already married.
She wanted a divorce.
But obsessed with a country star.
He signed your back.
I got it tattooed.
You're serving your husband with a restraining order, and you've got "Marry Me, Kit Moore" painted on your window? What are you, 12?
Is his daughter's survivalist boyfriend
Did he kidnap your daughter?
He did. No.
a threat to his family?
She asked me to come get her.
You're lying.
I'm lying? Why don't you shut the hell up? I'm not going to shut my mouth. If I didn't think I'd go to jail for it, I would go across this 3 feet of floor right here, and I'd take his damn head off.
This November. Then on Thursday, the former Subway sandwich king.
He told me how he would get children.
How to gain their trust.
The secret tapes that catch him talking about child sex.
I had this little boy. This was amazing.
No one has heard this.
It just felt so good. It felt so good.
Until now.
Sometimes around the most, the young girls or the young boys?
Both of them do. Both of them.
Only on Dr. Phill. Thursday.
Nearly $2 million gone, and multiple families desperate for answers and their hard-earned money back. Where did all the money go? Now, to my guest, Maurice's former mistress in Mexico, who his family believes is conning their dad into believing that she is dying, and her only hope of survival is him paying for the life-saving medical care she needs. Now, Maurice disagrees and insists that she is sick and he will get his money back. Take a look.
I met Josefina nearly 18 years ago in Mexico. I had a 3-month affair with her. I'd already had an affair with another woman. I didn't think it was a big deal. 3 or 4 months after I came back to the United States, she told me that she had lung cancer. She said she needed a transplant. That's how it all started. I've been sending her money to keep her alive. I haven't seen her in 13 years. She promised that she would return all the money. I borrowed my money from my children. I said I was going to pay them back with interest. I did steal $200,000 from my daughter, Delane. Josefina needs $675 to get out of the clinic. If she could just get out, she would reimburse everybody. It'd be foolish to stop now.
Now, before we add Maurice to the conversation, I wanted to ask all of you at home on Twitter if you believe Maurice is being taken advantage of. Tweet hashtag Dr. Phill yes or hashtag Dr. Phill no. And if you want to join today's conversation, just tweet hashtag Dr. Phill, hashtag money to mistress, and you can join this conversation. So Maurice, come on out. Maurice, Dr. Phill.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, sir. Have a seat if you would.
Thank you.
Maurice, I'll just jump right into it. I've been here talking with 4 of your beautiful daughters and your wife, Linda. They feel lied to. They feel betrayed, that you have stolen money from them to the point that she's lost her home. She's losing her home. Do you deny that, or is that true?
I think that happened.
I want to see if I understand the timeline of this right. So in 1996, Maurice and Josefina meet, and you begin a 3-month affair in Mexico. And in 2000, Josefina calls Maurice and says she has lung cancer and needs a transplant. Why call you 4 years later and say I need a lung transplant.
Well, because she didn't have anybody to go to.
Where'd you get the lung?
She went down to Veracruz to receive that lung, and
on the black market?
Yes.
So you paid for acquiring the lung.
Mm-hmm.
So she just showed up lung in hand to a clinic, said, I'm here to get a transplant, and I've got my lung with me.
Yeah, that's basically what happened.
You believe this woman just showed up at a clinic with a lung in an igloo cooler or something and said, I need a lung transplant, and I got the lung, and this clinic just had a transplant team just happened to be standing by in Mazatlan?
No, the doctor was the one that put the whole thing together.
Shockingly, it didn't take. So Josefina decides to store the lung.
She stored it for about 2 weeks.
Like at the house?
No, not at the house.
Where'd she store it?
At the clinic right there, and that's what happened.
And then she finds another lung, and you help her pay for the second lung and transplant. Mm-hmm. So she says, okay, now I got an extra lung. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she sells it.
Right.
So that's when they swap the ranch. Yeah. So don't have the cash.
Yeah.
But I've got a ranch I'll trade you for. The ranch worth $1 million.
That's right.
But despite the new lungs, she's too sick to sell the ranch.
Well, she was too sick to do right immediately, yeah.
She's also had brain cancer?
Yes.
5 times?
7 times.
7 times. 7 brain cancers.
She survived that.
And then in 2002, the lung recipient died.
Mm-hmm. She gave it back to her.
Josefina sells the lung on the black market for $2.7 million.
2.2.
2.2 million bucks. But she says she can't pay you back.
She got the money, and the money went into a bank, and it's there frozen.
Why is it frozen?
Because of the amount of money. It's too much money.
I didn't know you could have too much money. She has too much money. You have a computer, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever check on these sort of things?
Yeah.
Because just before I walked over this morning, I just thought, you know what? I think I'll just Google up and see what a lung costs on the black market.
And what'd you find?
In China, you can get one for an average of about $23,000. Mm-hmm. In Europe, it was even less. In Mexico, they didn't really have much of a selection.
Yeah, I know.
I even looked on eBay. And they just didn't have anything. Maurice's family says he doesn't even remember the names of people they claim he's victimized. Well, but I have a list, and we're going to see what his thoughts and feelings are about this. We'll be right back. This wasn't the only relationship you had in Mexico, right?
No.
Do you have a second family?
It was a miserable time in our family.
It hurt. It wasn't fun to realize that.
Embarrassed, mad, just disappointed.
When we found out that my mom knew, it felt like an enormous betrayal.
This wasn't the only relationship you had in Mexico, right?
No.
Do you have a second family in Mexico?
I've got one in Ensenada.
A daughter?
19-year-old.
And did you raise her?
No.
Have you been supporting her?
Yeah.
So you've been paying money there and to Josefina?
Yeah. I decided that 2 weeks ago I was going to cut it off completely and not have any contact with her.
But that's, I mean, that's not entirely true.
We took his phone
so he couldn't call her. Yeah. And he actually left my house twice trying to go call her, like walk to a gas station.
I went to the bank to get the money that had come in.
And what were you going to do with that money?
Well, I was going to give it to my wife.
No, that's not true at all.
Weren't.
No, that's not true at all. I had to have him hand it over to me so I could count it, and he was not going to give any of it to my mother.
Look, if we have any hope here, One thing we got to do is be just completely honest. I mean, at this point, what the hell? Yeah. I mean, you got a second family in Mexico. You shipped nearly $2 million to Josefina. Wasn't your theory that they weren't going to let her out of the hospital if she didn't pay him some money? Yeah. You know what she told you?
Yeah.
So in Mexico, you don't pay, you don't go.
That's right.
So they keep you there.
That's right. They keep you there.
So you needed to give her money so she could get out.
That's what happened.
You do know that Mexico has universal health care, right? So she's got you and the government paying for her to go to the hospital.
Well, and she's not even actually going to have a room.
Pardon me?
She doesn't check in because she doesn't have money, so she's not actually in a hospital room.
Well, she doesn't need it. She can get health care.
I'm just saying, she's on like the back patio.
This is the story.
This is the story. She's like not even in an actual room, so we can't call her to find out what room number she's in. She's out in a separate area of people who can't pay. I mean, this is how ridiculous it is. But he just makes up reason with him. I mean, you can't reason with him.
She's in a patio room?
Yes, literally.
Is that?
No, she's behind the clinic.
Is that outdoors?
Yeah, that's outdoors. In a patio.
So patio. And it's cold, and she has no sweater or shoes because she's so poor.
So she's at a hospital.
Not in the hospital.
But not in the hospital. She's just sleeping next to the hospital.
Well, yeah, because the back end is enclosed. She's able to stay right there with the hope of getting the money.
And he believes this.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
That's
what do you do with that?
Anything she...
Okay, well, this is just an example of one money transfer service that Maurice has used to pay for this kind of explanation. It sent anywhere between $150 and $990 nearly every day for the entire year. The money transfers from just this company totaled $105,134.01. That's just from one company.
Right.
So where does he get all of this money? Well, I made a chart. This is just according to Maurice, and I'm not even sure he knows for sure. He has taken his family for $500,000. He's taken $500,000 of his own money out of his account with he and his wife. He's gotten $3,500 from one guy, $2,700 from another, $3,000 this guy, an investor $100,000, Mexican businessman $40,000, $2,700 to Greg, $20,000 to a friend, $12,000 from a church member, $40,000 from another church member, $60,000 from a friend, 5 strangers totaling $300,000. Another stranger for $500. This was the one at the gas station, I think. Church elder, undisclosed amount. 6 church members. All of this, and when it's all added up, that totals to $1,464,400. And that's just what we've been told.
Right, right.
There's no question that's not the bottom.
Right. No.
It is not in the realm of possibility.
Do you believe what he's telling you?
Well, I don't believe it.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phill, torn between her husband and her childhood crush.
You had an affair and convinced him you were the victim.
I didn't do it on purpose.
No, come on.
That's tomorrow.
Joining us now is Dr. Pat Basu. He is the Chief Medical Officer of Doctor on Demand, which is the company that Jay and I have that you've heard us talk about. Now, Dr. Basu has served as a White House Fellow. Prior to that, he served as Course Director of Health, Policy, and Economics at Stanford University. You've been listening to everything. What do you think of Josefina's claims when it comes to all of this lung manipulation? I mean, is this even remotely possible?
It's not possible at all. It is.
Step up here, because I want to be sure that he can hear you clearly and concisely. You just take my chair here.
Sure.
Just take my chair so you can speak directly to Maurice, if you would. Maurice, this is Dr. Pat Basu.
Nice to meet you.
So, is it possible what she's telling him is true?
There is no way this story is possible. And I should maybe just clear something up, because there's this talk about the black market, which does exist. But even in that case, it is not just a box of old organs that's lying around. There is no sort of black market box where they just sit there. Whether it's legal or the black market, that transplant has to be done in this very small window, or the lung itself will perish.
Okay, so what is the chance that she could go to Veracruz, get this lung, bring it back up to some clinic, some doctor does the transfer, it doesn't take, so she takes it out, puts another one in, saves this one for 3 weeks in a cooler or something at the clinic where they keep spare body parts, apparently, for 3 weeks, and then sell it again to some, or swap it for a ranch or whatever. What's the chance of that happening 3 weeks later?
Yeah, Maurice, I just have to tell you, the chance of that is 0. There is no single aspect of that story is possible, let alone the entire chain of events. It is just entirely not possible in any universe.
Do you believe what he's telling you?
Well, I don't believe it.
You don't believe which?
I don't believe what he's saying. It happens down in Mexico, and it's...
Yeah, you cannot revive the lung once it is dead. There is a window of 6 hours, and even in that window, by the time it's getting there, the lung is literally perishing. It cannot be revived. It cannot be reused in that capacity at all.
Well, I don't know how that happens then.
Well, it doesn't.
Huh?
It doesn't.
It doesn't happen.
It does. Yeah. I do know that the lung was 3 months in a container.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so you think because she said that the laws of physics, the laws of science, the laws of medicine are suspended because of what she said. It just becomes true for her, but not for anybody else.
Well, I know that the lung was for 3 months until it was transferred.
The lung was outside the body for 3 months, mm-hmm. and then put back in.
It's in a container. They have some type of solution in Mexico. And they have, I know, doctor,
yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
This doesn't even make you think maybe she's lied to you?
No.
Okay. All right, listen, that's very important for me to hear. That's very important for me to hear. It helps me, that informs me to help inform you. Okay, next, there is one key person missing from this conversation. That's Josefina herself. I'm going to ask Maurice to give her a call after the break. Let's see if she answers from the back porch of the hospital. We'll be right back. We'll now dial the international number, and I would like to ask her a few questions if you could translate for me.
Do you need Dr. Phil's help? Text Phill to 88500 and share your story for a chance to appear on the show. Standard message and data rates may apply.
If you are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. We've talked a lot about Josefina, Maurice's former mistress. So I think it's time to try and add her to the conversation. So we are going to call her cell phone. We'll now dial the international number, and I would like to ask her a few questions too, if you could translate for me.
Después del tono, grabe su mensaje. Marque la tecla gato cuando termine.
It was a message that said, you know,
go through.
Yeah.
We'll just keep trying while we keep talking. So you don't believe Dr. Basu? We actually hired a private investigator in Mexico to learn a little bit. to learn a little bit more about Josefina, because you say she's just all alone and nobody to call but you, and you say you're helping her because she has no family. Well, actually, the private investigator did find her, and they found that her parents are still very much alive, that she has multiple siblings, and in fact, the phone that she talks to you on is actually billed to her sister, and at the same address.
I don't believe it.
He was also able to find information about Josefina's ranch. There's no property in her name at all. No ranches even located in that area in anybody's name. So the ranch she says that she's traded for is not in her name, is not in anybody else's name, and where she says the ranch exists, there are no ranches in that area at all, period, zip, zero, nada, yet no ranches.
Well, I don't know where you're getting your information.
Because yours is so reliable, right, Dad?
I mean, you can get on an airplane, you can go down there and find out. We got the address. We walk you right up the front door and knock. You can go to this hospital, room 103. She is not there. She is not there. That was actually inside the hospital. It wasn't on the patio. It was inside the hospital. Ranch. No ranch.
No, she was only
doesn't exist. Lungs that live for more than 6 hours. Nowhere on the globe does that happen, ever, period. These are facts. These are not opinions. These are not matters of, I see it one way and you see it another, tomato, tomato, potato, potato. These are facts. How many doctors do I need to line up to tell you you can't keep a lung alive for more than 4 to 6 hours?
I don't know, because, you know, that lung is alive for 3 months.
Dad.
Yeah.
Okay, next, where do Maurice and his family go from here? Well, I'm going to tell all of these women what I think needs to happen after the break. Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
Before we go on, earlier in the show, I asked my Twitter followers if they believe Maurice is being taken advantage of, and the results are in. 54% say yes, 46% say no. I'll tell you why I think it's 50-50, because they're focusing on him as being a perpetrator of all of you and all of these innocent people we had up here, as much as they are of him being a victim by her. I'm going to talk about you like you're not here for a minute, okay?
Go ahead.
And I mean, no disrespect, but I have to be candid about this. I've not evaluated your father long-term or historically. All I can tell you is where I see him now. And, you know, I spent a lot of time doing this kind of thing back when I had a real job and was in private practice. Part of my training was in forensic psychology, where I was often worked as an officer of the court to make determinations of sanity, person's ability to conduct their own affairs, things of that nature. It's obvious that he has constructed a delusional system here. And when you try to crack the delusional system, the walls come up. And at that point, this person is not able to separate fantasy and reality. Okay? So those lines are blurred. I think you can go to any court in the land and get a conservatorship appointed, so he cannot get himself bankrupt, so he cannot get himself exploited further, so he cannot conduct business and take other people's money. The first thing I would like to do is offer Maurice a chance to go and have himself evaluated at the Lawless PNP Center in Dallas to have him really looked at and see if there are neurological issues here, if there are psychological issues here that have him caught in a loop that he just can't get out of, and see if we can maybe do some things diagnostically and break that up for him. And also joining us is my really good friend, Miles Adcox. He is the owner and CEO of Onsite. And Onsite is the worldwide leader in intensive workshops and treatment for those that suffer from emotional trauma and mental health issues. Do you agree he's delusional here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you take the help that I'm offering you to get some evaluation done and focus on yourself and get some professional help with this?
Yeah.
I really think it would be helpful to you. When you finish at Onsite, I'm also going to set Maurice up with ongoing therapy after he leaves here today. You know, at Doctor On Demand, we also have an extensive network of board-certified doctor-level psychologists that can see patients on the Doctor On Demand app from the comfort of your own house. You don't have to get in the car and drive to the therapist office. It's easier, it's cheaper, and in my opinion, every bit as effective. And for those of you at home that want to, you can download the Doctor On Demand app at Google Plays or the App Store. I want to thank all of my guests today. I want to give a special thanks to Dr. Pat Basu, Dr. Lawless, and the PNP Center, as well as Miles Adcock and Onsite for offering to help Maurice and the family as well. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.
On an all-new Dr. Phill. They claim this woman is obsessed with their twins.
You've stalked us for 4 years. How violated can you even imagine that we feel?
She's posted pictures of their girls as if they are her own.
I want this to end here.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
Freak this out.
I really don't mean you guys harm.
You've changed the way that we live. I can't even get joy out of my little girls because I'm freaked out. Every person that looks at them is going to snap them up and steal them from me.
Will she confess?
I did not take pictures from them.
Behind that lamp is a picture of their 2 girls hanging in your house. This is a picture of a nightstand in your house, and it's got pictures of their girls. Do you not know how those got in your house? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. Yesterday, April and Nathan came to the show for my help to confront an online stranger named Ashley. They claim she had cyberjacked their twin daughters' photos and claimed them as her own. Ashley not only denies knowing the couple, but says she does have twin girls and has no idea why these people are pointing the finger at her. Here's what happened yesterday as I began to interrogate the woman accused.
My 4-year-old twin identical daughters, Sophia and Vivian, were born in 2012. I joined a Facebook group for moms of multiples. I did upload some photos here and there. I got a private message on Facebook from a lady alerting me that my twin girls' photos had been stolen off of Facebook. When I went to this lady's blog, it said that her name was Ashley. She basically took my photos offline and made a complete life of her as their mom.
There is actually a term for this. It's digital kidnapping.
My girls are in picture frames all over her house, above her bed, above her nightstand, on her dressers, on the end of couches.
The pictures had our girls' names on the outfits they were wearing, and she would blur them out. A lot of photographs had my wife in a reflection, and she would blur that out.
I am dealing with someone who is completely mentally unstable. My biggest concern is that she's going to break into my house and steal my children.
I agree that you need to be vigilant here. I'm going to bring her out by herself and talk to her. But I'm going to put you guys out here in the audience.
I've never heard of April or Nathan. Anyone could go through my Facebook and see that I don't have pictures. They don't have any proof.
What do you think about somebody would do that?
I think they would have some mental problems.
Do you have twins?
Yes. Their names are Dea and Camberlyn. I was sent to prison and I lost custody of them.
So your parental rights were completely terminated?
Yes.
How do you think a mother would feel if somebody was hijacking their children and claiming them as their own?
Possibly scared.
You got nothing to hide, right?
I'm very willing to answer any questions.
Yeah. So please welcome April and Nathan to the stage. Never seen them before?
No.
Ashley, you're a liar. You've claimed my girls as your own girls, and it's gonna frickin' stop.
Maybe you're confused. She does have twin girls. Do you have pictures of your girls?
I do not.
You can clear up the mystery. Do you have any objection to us looking on your Facebook account?
I don't.
There will be no pictures of their babies on your Facebook account?
No.
Tell me who these girls are.
I don't know.
Tell me who these girls are.
My baby girls, Sophie and Vivi.
Who are these girls?
Our girls.
Who are these girls?
Our girls.
Who are these girls?
Our girls.
And how did hundreds of pictures of their twins, who you've never heard of, get on your Facebook page?
I don't know.
Help me with this. May I have graphic 4 on the screen, please? See, you decided to sell some things on the internet because I do my homework. And I have tracked your digital footprint all through the internet. You decided to sell this lamp, okay? And you took a picture of this lamp to sell this lamp, and behind that lamp is a picture of their 2 girls hanging in your house. This is your house and your lamp that you put up for sale. This is a picture of a nightstand in your house for sale, and it's got pictures of their girls on your nightstand in your house that you put up for sale. This is a picture in your house, and this is a picture of you right here next to pictures of their girls on the nightstand. Do you not know how those got in your house? These are the pictures that are in these pictures. This picture is this one. This picture is this one. Ashley, come on. Those are in your house. I'm trying to help you here. I'm trying to help you. I don't want to get you in trouble. I want to help you. You don't need to be in trouble. You need to be helped. And you'll never have a better offer. You'll never have a better offer. These people came to me and said they did not want me to burn you down. They wanted me to help you. As much as they're hurting, as much as they're upset, why do you think they came to the one person in the media that's a mental health professional? Because they want to help you. You know, she said as a mother, this person must be in a lot of pain, Dr. Phill. Help her and that fix our problem.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
You're supposed to tell the truth.
I can't believe some lady I don't even know has caused us this much turmoil. You have to understand from our standpoint, we're scared to death. You freaked us out. Scary. We need help.
And later, you never had twin girls back in 2012, right?
Yes, I did.
We know the truth. If you're straight with me, I want this to end here. If you're not, I am your worst nightmare.
Tomorrow.
My mom says I have a mental disorder.
You guys said she ripped the wings off of a pet bird?
I did not kill my bird.
Your children have been removed from the home.
I'm in Hollywood right now, so how can I worry about my children? I've been worried about your children. Why don't you take them then, little witch?
Can I move my seat, Dr. Phill?
Yeah, actually sit her next to my hypocritical mother.
Then on Monday, he has a black belt.
You say he tried to gouge your eye out.
Gouge her eye?
She's had bruises.
You're abusing alcohol.
You're abusing me.
All new Dr. Phill, Monday.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
You're supposed to tell the truth. I don't think you ever intended for this to go this far. I don't think you ever intended for anybody to be hurt. I don't think you ever intended for anybody to be scared. I think you intended for this to be a very private thing. And I think it took on a life of its own. And before you know it, I think you kind of got lost in the maze of it all. And then I think you didn't know how to get off the train. And I don't think you want people to be afraid of you. I don't think you want people to be scared. And I don't think you mean their children any harm. And I don't think you mean them any harm. But I think this just got away from you. And I think you just didn't know how to stop it. But you can't change what you don't acknowledge. And I know that you've done it. They know that you've done it. I'm not even asking you that because I already know the answer. What I'm asking you is, what do you want to do now?
I really don't mean you guys harm. I really don't.
I can't. What did you say?
I really don't mean you guys harm. I really don't.
I try to see the heart of gold in everybody, and I try to be a positive person. But you have completely stolen. I can't even, I don't even know how to explain. We're completely violated, I feel like, over the past 4 years. I have looked at 600 photos probably that you have posted on social media, and you have followed our lives the whole entire time. Going down to the point, if I post a photo of my girls after dance class, and I love the Winnie the Pooh quote that talks about, you know, how can something so small in your heart, you know, take up something so big? And you even took that exact photo and you put the quote across it. I talk about how Sophie always had her hands up by her face in ultrasound. You would take that exact thing that I said and reword it in your own words. I mean, it scares us. We're scared, and we don't live far from you. I mean, you know that, obviously, because you've stalked us out. You have to understand from our standpoint, we're scared to death. You've changed our lives in a way that I never thought I could become. I mean, I feel like a schizophrenic, paranoid person now. I'm scared of everybody that talks to my twins. I'm scared to death. You've changed the way that we live, and I can't even get joy out of my little girls because I'm freaked out. Every person that looks at them or talks to them is someone that's related to you. They're going to snack them up and steal them from me. You freaked us out. Scary. You need help.
I apologize for how I've made you guys feel. I really do. I guess it's sort of... I guess it sort of felt like maybe I wasn't missing things I was missing, even though it was the wrong way to not be missing them by following these things. I mean, I know it's not right. I really...
Can I bring up, back in 2013, when this first started, and I got a private message on it on my twin Facebook page that I had, that obviously you found me on, somehow stalked me out there. When this happened and we got police involved and we got a detective involved, we found 3 Facebook pages you had. We got all those shut down, got your blog shut down that had all of my girls' information on it. My husband sent you a message, and that message shows that you read that message back in 2013, February 21st, I believe, of 2013. He sent you a message, told you to take any photos off of the internet that were of our girls. We knew you had our girls on there. He told you we were contacting police, that we knew where you lived. We are contacting police in your area. You read it. You never responded to him about that. And you've just continued to follow us and stalk us out for 4 years. You followed our family for 4 years everywhere we've gone. I mean, how violated can you even imagine that we feel by you, what you've done to us? It's a complete violation. It's, the night that I found out that this was still going on, I left my phone at home. We went to eat dinner. And I sat down and picked up our girls, and I started crying to him, and I said, I feel like my girls have honestly been kidnapped, and this is the first night I've gotten them back. And we just loved on them and hugged on them, and I'm like, can't believe some lady I don't even know has caused us this much turmoil. Unbelievable to me.
You're talking about this message that
Yes,
he put
sir.
up, the picture stealing accusation here? That you just referenced in great detail. And you got that and read that, right? It clicks down here that says you received it and read it.
If it says I read it, then I read it. I honestly don't remember it, but yes, if it says I read it, then...
It says you read it. You never had twin girls back in 2012, right?
Yes, I did.
Well, you said they went with your mother-in-law, right?
Yes.
And she says that's just not true. And later, they now have me on their team and every resource at my command. All I want is to end this here.
Then let's end it here.
Kyle poured freezing cold water on me while I was in bed.
He has a black belt.
You say he tried to gouge your eye out.
Gouge her eye?
She's had bruises.
I don't try and hurt you. I just try and stop you from doing anything to me.
She's charging you like a bull, is that what you're saying? And you're having to take her down?
Yeah.
You were accused of planting drugs in this woman's car, did you?
No.
But they did find your DNA on the pills.
He was a major league pitcher. Now his family says he's a drunk.
You've been self-medicating with alcohol because your dream got ripped from you.
I'm not a drunkard.
This is that bottom of the ninth, man. You got to do this.
Listen, I've been doing this for 45 years. And the only thing you can do here, the only thing that's going to make them have any sense of peace about this is if they feel that you get it. They feel that you get the impact on them and that you own this whole thing. You know, you said you had twin girls back in 2012. You never had twin girls back in 2012, right?
Yes, I did.
Well, you said they went with your mother-in-law, right?
Yes.
Well, we talked to your mother-in-law. She says that's just not true. She said you never had twin girls back then. She said they were never with her, that she never had custody of them at all, and that that's just not true. I mean, the police talked to her. The police are cooperating with us because we're saying, look, we want to solve this here. The police talked to her, and they said, and I quote, Ashley has made comments that her mother-in-law has her children. I have spoken to her, and she advised at no time did she believe Ashley to be pregnant or see the children she apparently had. She advised that her son and Ashley were together for approximately 7 weeks before they were married, and Ashley told her son she was pregnant by him. They were married by the end of February 2012, and she posted the twins were born on the 22nd of June 2012. This is 4 months after she learned she was allegedly pregnant. She said there were no children. She said she didn't see any children. There were no children. She never kept any children. She said it's just simply not true. We have the detective on the phone that interviewed you in 2012 that said you weren't pregnant in 2012 when you said you were pregnant, said you didn't look pregnant. Detective Cricket Warren from the Pauls Valley Police Department is on the phone. Detective Warren?
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us here. I'm really trying to bring some peace to this very nice couple here that has been literally terrorized in this situation concerning the safety and well-being of their precious children. And, you know, we're talking here with Ashley, and to her credit, she has admitted that, yes, she has hijacked these photos and that she has put them on her Facebook and she has claimed them as her own. She did not mean any harm, and she's sorry that she has, but I think she's having a hard time coming clean on everything here. You talked to her in 2012 on other charges. Was there any evidence to you at the time that she was pregnant?
No, other than just what she told us.
Did she appear pregnant?
She was a bigger girl, so I couldn't readily tell you that she was pregnant or not.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever see any children?
No.
And you talked to the mother-in-law. Did she ever see any children?
No.
Did the math work out from the time, I mean, she'd have had to have a baby in 4 months and 7 weeks at the max. It doesn't seem the math could work out either.
No, it does not work out.
Yeah. So, and you've seen the pictures from inside the house. The pictures are all over the house. You've seen the screenshots, taken some of the screenshots, correct?
Yes.
And so there's absolutely no doubt that those pictures are throughout the house, correct?
Correct.
And when you talked to the mother-in-law, she was not equivocating at all about whether there were children that she had seen or taken care of, correct?
Correct.
So I'm trying to encourage Ashley. I mean, this is the time. This is the time to put this out on the table, get it behind you, and leave it here. I'm just asking you, Ashley. You don't want to leave stones unturned here. You don't want to come in here and own half the problem and then live with half of it when you leave. This is a time to put this to rest. You went to the point of your mother posting pictures of these children in 2012. Your mother died in 2009. We've done our homework here. You went to the point of your mother posting pictures of these children, correct? In 2012, we have your mother's Facebook account where your mother's posting pictures of her grandchildren and bragging on how wonderful they are.
My mom's not alive.
Well, your mother died in 2009, but you're posting pictures on her behalf in 2012. I mean, there's her tombstone. She died in 2009. We've done our homework here. We know the truth. The important thing is for you to own the truth. You cannot move on if you don't own the truth, all of the truth. Your mother died in 2009. You're posting pictures on her website in 2012. Three years after she deceased. Now, if I've got a picture of her tombstone up here, you got to figure I've done my homework. Why are there no birth records of your twins? There are no birth records because you didn't have them. Correct?
You said you don't want me to get in trouble, right?
What?
You said you don't want me to get in trouble, right? You just...
I don't want you to get in trouble.
Stop and...
No, I want this to stop. They don't want to prosecute you. They want you to go away. They don't want you to be part of their life. They don't want to get in. They want this to stop here.
Do you feel that way?
Well, I'll tell you something that I'm really concerned about. As you know, I have a headband and embroidery making boutique online, and there was one photo that I have seen that you have shared on your Facebook page of my daughter Sophie, and it's a giveaway. I do a giveaway every month on my page, and it was a big wrap for Christmas time. The only place that I have posted that photo is on my boutique page. Never posted it on his Facebook, never posted it on my Facebook, and that picture was shared on your social media site. So my daughter and I, my oldest daughter that's 17, we went through my entire boutique page, looked for your name, searched it. You're not on my boutique page. So my concern is, I know that you've had lots of different Facebook pages out there. You're under an alias name, is what I truly believe, and you stalked me out on my boutique page, and you're following along with my life on there, because you know I post photos of my girls on there modeling things that they have been made, for them, or head wraps. You're still there. You're snaking your way in and watching what I post, because I know that one photo is only on that page. There's no other way you could have gotten it.
I'm going to be honest. I've gone on your page as my name, but I haven't liked it. I haven't commented. I'm being honest here. You know.
So that picture you stole off my page then? You remember that picture ever at Christmas time?
I think I know which one you're talking about, yes.
Why do you ask me, why are you confirming that I don't want you to get in trouble?
Because you said that, and I want to make sure that that's really what...
Yes, I will confirm that to you, look you straight in the eye and tell you. If you're straight with me, then I want this to end here. If you're not, I am your worst nightmare.
Then let's end it here.
Then let's end it here. Tell the truth, because I'm going to protect these people. These people came to me. Listen, I don't take it lightly when people reach out to me with their family. I take it very seriously when people come to me and say, my family is at risk. My children are at risk. Dr. Phill, help me. They could have gone 1,000 different places, and they came to me, and by God, I take that seriously, and I will charge the machine gun nest for them. Once I answer that letter, I am in, and I will stand in the gap for this family. And if you're still lying, then they now have me on their team and every resource at my command. All I want is to end this here. And when you leave here, I want not to condemn you. I want not to intimidate you. I want to help you. I want to get you professional help to support you and transition you to a healthier level of functioning. I don't want to threaten you. I don't want to intimidate you. I want to help you. I want you to write me a letter a year from now and say, Dr. Phill, thank you. You turned me around at that point. You gave me the help and support I needed to be a better person, and I thank you for that. That's the letter I want to get from you for a year from now. Not that I beat you up, but that I helped you. That's what I want. That's what I do. I'm not here to make your life worse. I'm here to make it better. You are living a terrible existence right now. You're living a fraud life. You've already been to prison for fraud. That doesn't work for you. Let's do something different. Let's go to a higher level of functioning, and you can't get there by yourself. I will get you the professional help to do that. I forgive you for what you have done. What I want you to do is stop doing it.
He had a Facebook request from somebody that he doesn't know. A couple days later, I get a Facebook private message, and my gut is that is actually you reaching out for help. So can I just ask you, was it you?
Tomorrow.
My mom says I have a mental disorder.
You guys said she ripped the wings off of a pet bird.
I did not kill my bird.
Your children have been removed from the home.
I'm in Hollywood right now. So how can I worry about my children? I've been worried about your children. Why don't you take them then, little witch?
Can I move my seat, Dr. Phill?
Yeah, actually sit her next to my hypocritical mother.
Then on Monday, he has a black belt.
You say he tried to gouge your eye out.
Gouge her eye?
She's had bruises.
You're abusing alcohol.
You're abusing me.
All new Dr. Phill, Monday.
Let's end this here. You're posting things on your dead mother's Facebook. Come on. That's not your finest hour, right? Did you have twins 4 years ago?
No.
Of course not. I know there would be birth records. I already know the answer to that. You just have to own that.
Can I ask her a question?
Yes, ask her anything you want.
On April 1st, he had a Facebook request from somebody that he doesn't know. A couple days later, I get a Facebook private message, and it's a big, long thing that says, hey, I'm just reaching out to you. I wasn't for sure if I should do this, but I went to high school with a girl named Ashley, she told me. She said, and I have been watching her Facebook page for a while now and have noticed that there's lots of photos of these twin girls on there, and I've noticed that anytime the twins have someone else in the picture with them, that people have been blurred out of the photo, or if they have their name across their chest, since I do embroidery, that they would have their name blurred across, and she gave us 46 screenshots this lady sent to my private Facebook page. She wrote in that message that she had no idea how she even found us in the sea of millions and trillions of people in the world, but she somehow found us and realized that those twin girls belonged to us and wanted us to be aware that this has been going on for 4 years. So that person, I had a really weird gut feeling that it wasn't truly a helpful person. I had a weird gut. I'm a nurse. I'm a registered nurse, which I'm sure you know. My nursing instinct was that this is a mentally ill person reaching out for help, and my gut is that is actually you. So can I just ask you, I mean, was it you? Were you reaching out in a way that you wanted to have help, that you thought I would go to some crazy level like calling Dr. Phill to get you help?
That honestly wasn't me.
I just thought it was odd that she would block the producers from Facebook and she would never respond to any message if she was truly trying to be a helpful person.
Well, there's certainly some connection, because for her seeing those pictures and knowing, finding Nathan out of billions of people, millions of people, there's some connection there. But look, this has to stop. I mean, next steps are these. You have to take their name out of your vocabulary. You have to delete everything from your Facebook page. Those are not your children. You can't be living this fantasy life with these as your surrogate, because the fact of the matter is that those behaviors could well be gateway behaviors to doing something not in the virtual world but into the real world. And that means they have to regard you as a threat. And the way to end that is to end that behavior. You have to stop that behavior. I don't think you're an evil person. I truly don't. I truly don't think you're an evil person. And I think you need some help to answer the questions of why you would do that and why you would lack the empathy to understand the kind of impact it would have on somebody else. I think you need the answer to those questions. You've invested a lot of time and effort and energy into this. What would have happened if the time, effort, and energy you've invested into this, you had invested into something productive in your life? Into taking better care of yourself, into doing something constructive for others or for yourself. Just, I mean, you need answers to those questions, and it's clear that you can't find them on your own. You just want her to leave you alone.
But I want it to be 100% leave alone. I'm paranoid.
Do you get what's happened here? Are you sorry for what you've done? When I said I wanted to offer you help, not create bigger problems for you in your life, now that you've confessed all that and admitted all that, you can find out if what I said was true. It is true. I want to help you. I want to get you some professional help immediately for this. You're not going to go home and find flashing lights in your driveway. What you're going to find is Anthony Haskins, our resource director, working with you immediately to get you some professional help to help you resolve all of this and get it behind you and move on. That's what I want to see happen, and I assume that's what y'all want to see happen. You don't want to, you don't wish her ill. You just want her to leave you alone.
But I want it to be 100% leave alone. I don't want fake Facebooks like your mom's and following us. And I mean, that's why I'm paranoid as heck.
Look, and I get that, and that's why I'm going to get her some professional help, and if she's sincere, she'll let that person send you a generic progress report, not about her personal disclosures in there, but to just let you update that she's doing well and progressing on that, so you have peace of mind about that. But those are next steps. I truly want to get you help with this. Will you take that help if I arrange that for you?
Yes.
And that's our gift to you. It's not going to cost you anything. Let us do this for you. Okay? And do you get what's happened here? Are you sorry for what you've done here?
I am. I really am. I mean, I don't know if you believe it or not, and I get it if you don't believe it, but I really am.
And you absolutely will leave these people alone. Take everything down off of the internet and accept the professional help that we're offering here.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. At this point, I'm going to excuse you, and I'm going to talk to you guys about how you get past this fear that's going on. And Anthony Haskins is going to meet with you backstage, and I want to make good on my commitment to help you with this. And let me say, I acknowledge your courage in admitting to this and taking the first step to putting this behind you today. Okay? All right. Okay. All right. Good day. When we come back, I'm going to talk about how much April may be exposing her family online. We're going to find out just exactly what we all need to know about the exposures that we do have when we put those babies out there. We'll be right back. Show without you, our studio audience.
If you are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Because we have a lot of fun here, don't we?
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445.
Okay, we're back. She's gone. Talk to me.
I'm blown away. I mean, I'm so relieved to hear her actually admit it. I didn't ever want to interrupt you because I could just see it possibly coming out of her. I'm happy.
I am too. I feel a sense of relief because I feel like I mean, I'm kind of with you. I don't feel like she's a bad person, but she has tried to fill some type of void in her life, and it has obviously escalated to a point way beyond just filling something that she's had a loss. Maybe, wow, I'm really speechless. I don't really know what to say. Speechless.
The way it started off, I was very worried, but I'm so glad you got her to admit it.
Well, did you get what you came for?
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely, and that she accepted help. That was my biggest fear, that you would offer her help and she would just be blindsided and be like, I don't need help, I'll just erase them off Facebook. And so I'm so thankful that she's taking the help that you're going to give her.
You know, here's the reality of this. You know, one of the frustrations we have in the law is, you know, they always say, I can't really help you till they do something, till they snatch a child, till they do whatever. And we are getting more and more policing of the internet. You know, there's no question about that. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, right now, until that happens, it is, I've testified before Congress that we used to have the Wild Wild West. Now we've got the Wild Wild Web. And it really is kind of frontier justice out there. And frankly, right now, the feds, they're looking at terrorist threats. So something like this doesn't even make their top 10,000. So that means we have to fend for ourselves and deal with it. That's why I'm saying here, I wanted her to come clean. I wanted her to own this. I wanted her to admit it. And then I want to get somebody talking to her that will take away the need, take away the motivation, take away whatever reaction she may have to this. And I think we got about as good as we get here. She owned everything. She admitted everything, and as you say, accepted, you know, help, because she could either go off and be bitter, or she can go off and be open to somebody trying to get in there and say, look, obviously you were feeling some kind of frustration here, some kind of need here. You were defaulting to a pattern of fraud, which you've done before. Let's give you some higher level coping skills. And you know, I hate to be, that's why I said I'm not trying to beat you up here, I'm trying to help you. But you need to tell the truth, because if she doesn't tell the truth, I am her worst. I mean, obviously, we've found everything there is to find, right? My team here is very passionate in y'all's behalf. So
appreciate that so much.
I'm glad that I'm glad we were able to help here, because these can be gateways behaviors to something else if they back themselves into a corner.
That's what we were worried about.
Yeah, they truly can. And y'all conducted yourselves, I thought you took the moral high ground. You were very clear in how strongly you felt about this, but you definitely took the moral high ground. And it's very becoming to you to have handled it the way that you did. So God bless you for that. Look, I want to thank all of my guests today. A special thanks to Detective Cricket Warren. It's so nice. Everybody knows that I am a huge advocate of the badge and the blue, and I really appreciate it when they work with us, because we try to do the right thing and support law enforcement in every way, and we appreciate it when they help us do the right thing here. So we really appreciate Detective Warren. If you want tips for keeping kids safe online, go to drphill.com, because we're going to have those things listed there. And we're going to talk about things like privacy settings and things of that nature, which may seem kind of basic, but they can really, really make a difference. And you may think, man, we can't even share pictures of our children. Yes, you can, but you need to be careful where you share them, because I'll promise you there are predators among us, and they use those pictures in ways that you never intended. It's a sad fact, but it's true. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. stuff.